Hi there, this is Art and Such, and today I'm going to show you how you can make glasses to go with your Rainbow Loom figurines. And I'm doing this in particular to go with my Monster High Ghoulia Yelps character. So I am going to show you a couple of methods. This video is going to focus primarily on the kind that I made in my original, and that's done with embroidery thread. And I will also suggest a couple of alternate methods that you can try. So what you're going to need to make the embroidery thread glasses is a piece of string, embroidery thread, and I used black originally. I'm going to use just a dark brown now to show you, but you want it to be at least as long as your arm, about as long as your arm. And what you're going to do is fold it over and come back that same length. So we're going to have maybe about 3 times the length of a standard ruler when all is said and done. And it's folded over at the top here, as I said. You're going to need scissors and a safety pin, and I'm using a kind of cushion to pin this onto. You can pin it right onto your blue jeans or tape it to a table if that's more comfortable. So what I'm going to do now is go to where it's folded over and trim it so that we now have 2 even threads. And the threads are going to get folded over, so the ends will pinch together. And I'm going to connect this at the top loop where it's been folded. I'm going to make a very small knot here. So we take the thread, it goes around the middle finger. This loop is on the underside and it's going to go over, and then I'm going to roll the rest of this on top. And I want this to be a relatively small piece here. Okay, so we've got just a little knotted loop, and this goes onto our safety pin. So the pin goes right through the hole of that loop we just made, and now it's secured. And this way it's not going to be loose. We've got it where we want it. You want to take your 4 strands and separate it so that you have 2 on either side. And what we're going to do is a basic macrame knot. I have a couple of other videos. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description if you want a little more help or you want to go further with this method. But what we're going to do is push 2 to the side and take our other 2, and we're going to do some knots. So to make a knot, you take 1 string in your left hand, you're going to pull it tight. With your other hand and your other string, you want to bring the string across and make a kind of a figure 4 here. And you can see there's now a hole. Let me hold this up for you here. There's now a hole where you've brought that thread across. You're going to reach through the hole under this string and pull the tail through while holding the other piece flat. So I hold this flat, I reach through the hole, I take the tail and pull it through. I'm going to bring it to the side and carefully bring it upwards. And I'm going to do it again. So bring the tail of the thread over my tight thread, reach through the hole, take the string and pull it back to the side and up. I'm going to do this 2 more times. And then we're going to be pulling that thread around. And we're going to be making 9 sets of 4 knots. So that was the first set with 4 knots. And now we take the thread that we've been using to knot. We're going to just literally push it under that tight thread that we're knotting on top of. And we're going to do 4 knots again. So bring it over, reach through the hole, take the tail end, pull it through, keep this left one nice and tight, and pull the other one up. And we're going to do, again, a total of 4. So that's 2, 3, 4. And if you've been counting, that's the second set that we've done, and we want 9 in total. So we pull it under, and we knot 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want this to be really tight because if your strings are going either which way, you're going to get kind of a loose and funny looking piece. Let's pull this under, do the 4th one. 2, 3, 4 knots. And 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw it over, pull it under. This is our 6th set. 2, 3, 4. If you want, you can write down the number that you're doing on a piece of paper, or you can just count by sort of the number of lumps here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that means we have just a couple more to do. So this is 4 knots for our 7th. Throw it over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw it under. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, depending on the character that you have, you might want to make this a little bit longer. If you have a character with really big eyes, you might want to make it bigger. As it is, what I can do is I can kind of bring this around and pinch it to the center and just see how big this is. So when it's at the kind of diameter that you like, let's measure this up here. Oh, this is way smaller. Let's do a couple more. I'm actually going to switch my threads because I've cut them a little bit short. So let's do it up to, well, we'll keep going and see how it goes. So this is the 10th set, 11. I'm afraid I don't know where I kept my notes that said how many spirals we did. 4 knots is 12 sets. Bring it around. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a feeling it was 15. So this is the 14th set of 4. 2 knots, 3 knots, 4 knots. Go around again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll say this once more. The number of spirals might change depending on which character you're making glasses for. So I'm going to take the end, I'm going to pinch it back to the center. I'm going to measure it up to the face of my character. And I think that's pretty decent. So now we need to do the other side. We're just going to leave this piece loose and press it away. Oh, it's flipped over on me. Well, it doesn't matter. At any rate, we go to the next side and we'll do the same thing. If you want, you can point your tail the opposite direction and not inwards, but it really doesn't matter in this case. So I'll show you again. We're going to hold one of these threads down tight. The other one is going to go over. You reach through the hole that you've now created, and through that hole you grab the tail end of your string and you pull it back to the right and carefully pull it up into the top. And we're going to do a set of 4 knots, so do that 4 times, pull it underneath, and do it again, and we need 15 sets. That was what we've settled on now. This is 3, and 4, 5, 6. Remember, each of these gets 4 knots in them before I move on. 3, 4. This is our 7th time around. I'm putting this over into the back. 2, 3, 4. Pull it over. 8, 4. Over. And this is 9. I'm going to switch these here just because my thread is getting short. This is flipping around here. I'm just going to hold that in my other hand so it's out of the way, I think. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll make 10. Bring it over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it over. This is the 12th set. 13, 2, 3, 4. 14 is 1, 2, 3, 4. As I said, if you want to tally this on a piece of paper, that might be easier to keep track of. I'm just being a little bit lazy here. I'm trying to do it in my head while I film this and show you. Alright, so now we can take this off of the safety pin. And we're going to take either side, and it's gonna loop up over towards the middle, and we're gonna knot this into place. So we're gonna separate the strings, put them on either side. Okay, so bring it to the center, separate the two strings, bring it to either side of that starting knot, and if you turn this around to the back, what you're gonna do is knot the two strings together. So cross one over the other, and the one that's on the bottom is going to go over, I'm trying to do this so you can see it, and down through. We're going to do this nice and tight. We'll do it a second time. So you can even wrap it around your finger if you want. The one that's on the bottom goes over, and you pull the rest of the string on top. So that's one side attached. It's a little bit messy to do this, but it's not too bad. We're going to do the same with the opposite side. So fold it up and over. You're going to separate your strings and bring them around that first knot that you did. And on the back side, you want to cross them. And the one that's, oh, well, we'll do the under one again so it's consistent. The one that's under will go over, around, and back down through. And if you find another way, if you have another way that works better for you, by all means, go for it. We do a second knot, so the one that's under will go over and through the other string. So we've got a lot of strings here, but don't worry, this is a good thing. This means extra security. So if this is the kind of glasses that you wanted to do, you would now get your figure, put your hook through from the back of the head, through the face, right to the middle between the eyes. What you're going to do is we're going to catch all of those threads. So put your hook through the first hoop and wrap the others on top. You have to pull it a little bit tight here. What we're going to do is pull this all to the back. Hopefully we get it all in one shot and all of our threads are going to be, we'll be able to pull them through. I can't believe I left my bands across the room there. I'll have to go and grab them. If you have to go through a second time because you missed some thread, you can always do that as well. And I might have to here, as I can see something in the front. Nope, I think we've got it. Alright, so there are two ways at this point that you can attach the glasses. The first thing you can do is just put your thread in a nice knot or put it on a C-clip. Or again, just tie it off really nicely here. The other thing you can do, if you want, you can take one of your longer thread ends, go to the side, push it or hook it through the side of your glasses. It's actually easier to push it through, I think. No, maybe not. And when you pull this back around, it's going to secure this in place. So it's come from the back through the side of the glasses and it goes back to the back. And then you can do this for the other side and tie the knots together. The other way you can secure these, and forgive me for 1 second while I grab some bands here. Is you can take a band of black or to match your face or to match your glasses. Just gonna use brown here. And you can go through from the other side, from the back, sort of through the side of the head. So this is the side. You could go through the side, through the glasses, take a band, put it on, pull it back through, and reach around to take the other side on. And from here you can pull one side, the side further down can go over the one at the top and over the end of the hook, and you can pull this to the back and secure it on a C-clip. So this will show up a little bit more than just having the thread, but it might be a little bit more bandy on the back. And once everything is secured, you would just trim your threads on the back side. So that's one way to make the glosses. And really quickly, a couple of other things I was playing with while designing this. You could make the glasses, this is a really long and tedious way, but you can go through the middle, grab an end of the color you want for your glasses, pull it to the back, reach through just under the eyes, take that piece, pull it back through, put one end over the other. This is on the back side again. And we can stitch or weave a whole set of glasses around the eyes. So your next one would come through from right around the ears where we want it to kind of end up. Grab another band of that color, pull it through, and you can put this on a C-clip or another hook if you want to, and then put your hook back where you started. Take that same band, pull it through again. And you sort of have to feel your way around this, but what starts to happen is that you build a frame around. So I'll just show you one more. I'm looking about the distance I want this to go. I'm going above the eyes and to the side, and I could always take another band, pull it through the side of the head, through the last band that I used, go back through that last hole that I made, pull the other side through, one side over the other. So that's another method. Those are two of the cleaner ways that I found. You can also take a twist tie, a black wire, a thick, strong black piece of string, and you can secure them on with bands, or you can twist them, like if it's a thick wire, you can just twist it into shape. I found they didn't hold very well. They were it was a little harder to manipulate the pieces to be the way that I wanted them to, but maybe you'll have better luck with that, and I hope you'll let me know if you do. And the third or fourth suggestion I'll make here is I found a really cool website, or it's a website and there's a YouTube video, and I'll put those in the description, and there you can get access to paper printable cutouts for dolls' glasses. And they tell you how to do this, and there are a selection of glasses you can choose from. And basically the way it works is you print it out and you get glasses about this size, and you would glue that to a piece of cardstock or some thicker paper, let it dry, cut around it. You can use an X-Acto knife if you want, and you could also draw on pupils if you'd rather do that. You'll see what I mean if you check out the site. And then you can pull the edges through the side of the face, or you can just even glue or tape the paper on in the back. I think, like I said, my preferred method is with the embroidery thread. It's got kind of a funky, chunky look, but I would love to know some of the things that you're trying. And I thank you for watching. Please be sure to check out my other tutorials and some of the links in the description.